Hello again and welcome back to another Maya tutorial. Today I'm going to be showing you something very special. It's the Maya Physical Sun and Sky node. You're probably going to hate me for showing it to you this late. However, I don't think it should be used until you're comfortable using other lighting so you don't get dependent on it. And along with this video, the video right after it, on gamma correction, if I could, I wouldn't allow you to use Maya Physical Sun and Sky at all without watching the gamma correction video immediately after. So that being said, let's get started. So I'm just going to make a simple cube, like so, and I'm going to pop open my render settings. I'm going to go to indirect lighting. Make sure your quality is on production first. Indirect lighting, create. And you're like, well, what did that do? It, changed it gave me this physical sky attribute. If we look at our perspective camera and we graph those inputs real quick, you can see it added this physical sky. It added an exposure node that changed the gamma to 2.2. And in the next video I'll show you how to correct that on your shaders. And then it also is attached to sun direction. So it created a lot of arbitrary stuff, right? If I move this cube, you can see it created this nice little directional light symbol. The good thing is the sun direction is not dependent on its location or its scale, only on its rotation. So I'm going to scale it up so you can kind of get an idea. So the sun rays, according to this, are coming down at this angle. So if we were on this side, this face right here should be shaded. So I'm just going to render this. This does take longer than normal standard. Okay. So as you can see, this side is shaded, and same with this side because it is slightly on this angle. The top is lit. It gives us this horizon ground, and it gives us some sky. This lighting was designed to simulate sunlight, and it actually is really close. So, that's pretty arbitrary. You're like, well, it's not that cool. Just wait, it gets better. So if we're over here, let's go to the other side and render that really quick. Now I put a ground plane in. Okay, so now we're starting to see a little bit more depth here. But if you notice in our viewport, I had a gray shader on the box and the plane, default Lambert. So why is it white? That is because of the gamma correction. It washes everything out, essentially. So, alright, so let's attach some different shaders to this stuff so we can differentiate. I have a checkered fog. I'm just going to drop on the ground plane. And, okay, so then I'm going to show you the cool thing about this sun direction. If we rotate it, say I rotate it down like so, so it's coming in from this direction really low in the horizon, and I re-render our frame, you can see that, let me get an angle so you can see the sky better. Come down like that, re-render that. So as you can see, it actually turned the sky dusky. How much you rotate it actually affects the time of day, and I put that in air quotes because of course it's not perfect and it's fallible, but it is pretty good. I've used it in some high-grade renders, and you can really simulate sunrise and sunset. This is late in the evening. You notice it has a more orangey glow to it. So I'm going to save this image, minimize that, and I'm going to rotate this to the other side. And in the morning, it tends to be pinkish, more pinkish. So pull up my render view and re-render. So it has a slightly more pinkish tint to it. Pull it down this way. Render view, render that again. This has even a more orange. All four directions affect the light in different ways. So save that. And then I'll turn it to the last direction. So if you have a particular type of light you want, you just need to play around with the sun direction until you can get the right time of day that you're looking for. So they all affect it a little bit different. Another thing that I don't know if you noticed, turn this up and pull it over like so, and render this again really quick. And this checker is a terrible example. Yes, it is. So I need to put a different shader on it. I'm just going to make a black, not black, a white Lambert. Completely white. So theoretically, and I'm going to make my cube black. So I'm going to make a Fong, and this Fong shall be black. Okay, so if I re-render this again, we should be able to see shadows this time. Okay, good. Okay, so if you notice, out here, our shadow starts out really sharp here and then falls off and gets fuzzy. This is a shadow softness that is also part of the Maya Physical Sun and Sky node. Very, very cool. The fact that it falls off like that, you can go in and you can adjust the samples to take away the graininess. You can make the softness less. So there's a lot of power in this tool, but that being said, if you notice, like, our black cube, supposedly pure black cube, looks not pure black. Of course it's reflecting stuff, but if I change that Fong to a Lambert and then render it again, okay, a Lambert's a bad example. But it does wash out the colors. If you notice, when we had the default gray on there, it does make it more white than it appears. So this is gray, this is white, but this is showing up a lot more washed out. If I made this black Lambert, if I made it red, a really rich, saturated red, so super bright red. And I'll even turn on viewport 2.0 so you can't lie to me and say that that's not accurate. It's a pretty accurate representation. I'll even turn on the lighting and the shadows so we can tell which direction our lighting's coming from and everything. Pull up my render view, render it, and it is slightly more washed out and it's brighter. I guess it's not washed out. The main thing is that it's brighter. So if we made a dark maroon color like that and we render it, it did not make it as dark as it should be. See, if you look over escape to stop that. If you look over here, it's supposed to be this darkness, and it is this darkness. There's quite a difference between the two, and this is because of gamma correction. So stay tuned. The next video will be on gamma correction. I hope this was cool. I hope you use my physical center sky. It's a really cool type of lighting, but just be warned, there is an extra step you have to do to your shaders to accommodate for this. So I hope it's helpful, and I'll see you all in my next video.